Hello, glorious darlings. Today we are going to explore your number one most direct Epicurean superpower that you have within you. And this is really what all other techniques, rituals, ceremonies, practices are leading home to. And so, one, we'll preface this with the felt resonance of all being love, ultimate God state. Your number one superpower is how you feel. How you feel, we can call this the subconscious mind, the somatic body, and ultimately, the conscious and the subconscious merge and marry as one and become the full-fledged lived embodied emanation of super consciousness, super intelligence. But how we feel is actively sculpting our reality. And so life is responding primarily dominantly to our vibrational frequency and resonance. And so think about, and we will delve into a little bit in this way or the next one that I share, but the power of words. So I recognized within my being, because you can feel when I share, it's coming from my beingness, my embodiment. I'm transmitting from a space of deep embodiment. So there's power, there's oomph, there's potency to my words. And so I recognized in my own unique experience how powerful my words were to sculpt my existence and really my existence, my life story, all of our life story being a direct feedback of our internal content and our degree of consciousness, what we are thinking, feeling, sensing, emanating, resonating, all of this. This is our reality is quite beautifully and gorgeously reflecting us back to us with precision. So the only thing that there is for us to really deeply focus on in our journey is self. The only one that there ever is to adapt, adjust, fine tune is our own self and in our own being. So we don't have to concern ourselves with what is going on in the external world. We become hyper self aware of who we are being, the stories and the narratives and the novels that we are constructing, the feelings and the frequencies that we are choosing to cultivate and embody and resonate and then exude into this holy world, because the external is always going to be showing us who we are being. And so the most important thing to focalize is who we are being. And the ultimate embodied expression of our being is the exquisite immaculateness of pure divine love, the heart tones of the infinite, the voice of the infinite, the song and the symphony of the supreme self. This is our own ultimate embodiment that transmorphs our entire reality into a diamond refraction of our own divinity. And so the feeling is the prayer, as Greg Braden would say. It's how we feel. So when we utilize our consciousness and our super consciousness as paintbrush, our words, these intertechnologies of consciousness that we have to shape and sculpt the narrative of our lives, they are engendering a feeling. So think about this. There's very there's moments in our lives and in our reality where we are receiving precising reflective feedback, right? Like we had a thought or we had a vision, and that exact thing showed up and appeared in our reality. Well, it was operating on a certain frequency bandwidth. A lot of times people have these like really grand novel visions for their lives, and that's coming in when they're embodied in a more of an exalted God state, the frequency of truth, the frequency of love. And so these are pure, like ultimate timelines that are revealing themselves to us if we hold the resonance and the frequency of those timelines. And so that's completely up to us. So these intertechnologies of consciousness, thought, um, vision, they're all beautiful, powerful tools that allow us to cultivate and enrich a deeper frequency within ourselves. And for us to completely, beautifully, gorgeously, divinely radically alter our world in a nanosecond. All we have to do is shift our state of being. We don't have to consciously go in and utilize our words, our language, our vision, our consciousness, any of this to create uh, precising ideal like outcomes or how we wish things would be or how we would have rewritten things in the past, which we can rewrite our, well, we've talked about this in a different transmission, our state of being now alters past and future simultaneously, sculpts past and future simultaneously. So, what can we go directly to create profound shift, change, and transformation inside of this eternal now moment? We shift our state of being. And the most direct path to do this is through the breath. It's actually a letting go, it's a relinquishment of thoughts, of attempting to shape and mold things to our will. There is a sacred and super fun time and space for that superpower, but to create an immediate shift, right? If you're looking for resolution in any area of your life, if you're looking for things to open up and start flowing with momentum, if you're looking for um, like harmony and peace and beauty and bliss and love and warmth and interconnection and relationships, the most direct and fundamental thing that you can do is shift your state of being. So, what ideally you want to enter into is a space of pervasive bliss, oneness, pure accord with the truth and the light and the love of the one reality of pure divinity, to enter into a state of grace. And, this is why, and some of the most prominent texts of our time, well, not of our time, but that we still share today at this time, timeless teachings. Ooh, beautiful left earring. So exciting. Incoming awesomeness. So these texts talk about, being saved by grace. And this is precisely what they're talking about. It is a pervasive, accordant energy. So you enter into the state of being at one with the love and the light of the self. It's really the actual, the eye of Horus, the pineal gland. It is being the embodiment of the sun, the omniversal Om of fully illumined, enlightened awareness and consciousness. I am the only one here. Love is the only one here. I, being I am, not this solely the self, but from the vantage point of our I am presence, I am at one with the infinite, grand, vast tapestry of my immortal magnificence, fully illumined in the recognition of one love. Be still and know that I am God. God is love. Be still and know that I am love. I mean, this like massive, amazing Timothy Olton chair. It's like a teddy bear. It hugs me. It's huge. So when I put my arms out, so we're just being the integral embodiment of the divine source field, we're resonating the omniversal Om. We're being at one with. And what does this do? It brings our entire reality into a state of grace, a state of peace, a state of harmony, a state of accord, of pure, benevolent, luminous, relaxed, blissful energy, solely through our state shift of embodying resonant oneness and accord with the light of our supreme being. Fastest way to alter the entire mosaic of your existence on a dime in a moment. And so there's that. And then there's, moving into the space of cultivating the frequencies of what we wish to experience in our life. And so we can utilize our consciousness, our language, our words. I love to sculpt with words because the way that language, there's a very unique language that flows through my being because I've actually deepened so richly into the integrative, integral embodiment of the field itself in my physical body. And I can see energy. So I can see the simulated holographic mechanics of reality and how energy operates and behaves at the ultimate level, and also like the synthesis of how it works and operates at many other octaves and spheres of creation. But I've an enormity of my devotion has gone to embodying the structure of reality itself, of infinity, massive, vast, pervasive embodiment. This is why when a being steps into my field, they will be calibrated to their divine nature. They will be. It's the integrity of the field itself that pervades my embodiment. And so it's a beautiful activation, calibration, invitation, illumination, unveiling. It's a sequence that is activated that cannot be reversed, which is actually why when I was doing summits for all those years, I chose to do one-on-one calls instead of creating courses and curriculums, because my directive from the infinite was to be present with each of you who have shared that experience with me, because of the palpability of the divine source field that is embodied in my actual physical embodiment, in my tonality, in my unique blueprint, and what that actually serves solely through being present with beautiful beings. So I love to utilize all of my multi senses, right? Like I go inward and I do these luscious, and I shall facilitate a gorgeous activation and guided meditation for us soon, my loves. They're so intricately ornate and involved. So give me a moment for that one. It's quite the experience. And in the meantime, if you would like to have my Venusian throne activation, you can find that on my website at solararose.com/love, where all of my offerings are. And you can have a version of that you can speak out loud. It has palpably transformed people's lives just by speaking it aloud. So utilizing, like, I love to be in my visionary space and to utilize linguistics. So I'm going to reverse for a moment. What I was getting to with that last aspect of this transmission is this language reveals itself to me as my pineal gland has opened, as my DNA and the living light intelligence of superconsciousness has awoke in my being, has begun to illuminate and enliven me from the inside. The structure of reality itself has a very precising, elegant language, and it self reveals itself to me. The language is a transmission of direct experience and capacity to see sound and frequency and vibration, energetics, and the sentient architecture and mechanics of reality. The language is self revealing. And the more masterful we become as well at literally gearing and fine-tuning our consciousness towards prolific, super prosperous, love-giving, life-giving energy and intelligence, we refine and we sharpen and we master that skill and that capacity of being purely prolific vessels, because we recognize that everything is a reflection of us. So of course we're going to want to sculpt the most pristine internal Eden that we possibly can, while simultaneously allowing the pristine organic Eden of our being to emerge. It's twofold in this way. Those capacities work in tandem with one another. There's pure emergence, and then there's also cultivation of that which we are in ultimate truth. So we can utilize these technologies of consciousness to do that, but it's all to engender ourselves with the frequencies of pure source. That is all that we are doing here. And then our reality reflects experiences that mirror that. Now, we can be precising in our encodements. And when we're just, my experience has been again and again and again and again and again. And this is like, I have a gorgeous life and a beloved and friends and family and community that I am so grateful for. For the love of all things good, I'm sitting in a $4,500 chair that's like the most delicious bunny rabbit, like cozy, snuggly deliciousness. We are blessed to go on adventures and travels all the time. And, I've walked into the presence of beloveds who have felt the frequency of me and extended to me $250,000 to immerse in presence with them for 1 week in a tropical location, just solely to saturate in the frequencies. like profoundly gorgeous things manifest in my world often. And what I will say is it is the heart frequency of the divine that is doing that. These, the things that occur in my reality, like of course I have visions and encodements, and what I can say, and you can just, look at your own experience as well. How often have your exacting visions and plans and blueprints and ideas come to reality in the exact way that you thought that they would? Aspects, facets, yes, like more prominent experiences, yes, but the total picture of your life is likely unfolded in a much more novel and divine way. Why? Because the frequency is shaping and sculpting things. Now, when our words are infused, our intent of our heart and our consciousness are infused with the frequency of our spirit, of our soul, of our essence. And there's some potency, some sultry power that is infused in that. It's acting as a potent activation, but it's still the frequency that's doing the work. It's not solely the thought, it's not solely the language. It is the felt frequential vibration and resonance that we are just reverberating with full on voluminosity through the field of our united being, that through the field of our united being, that is what creates. It is what is sculpting, I shall say, is more accurate. It is what is sculpting our world and aligning us with experiences of like frequency and vibration, and transforming current experiences to like frequency and vibration. So the most powerful thing that we can do is become aware of who we are being, our state of being, how we feel. And this is about, so, okay, this isn't about looking for all the things that make us feel good. It is about being the frequency that feels good and informing our world with that frequency. And so there's a subtlety in here, there's a nuance. I'm looking for the things that make me feel good. And instead of choosing to be the frequency that feels good, one of those is externalized, one of those is deeply accountable and at choice, embodied in full power. I'm choosing my resonance. I'm choosing my frequency. I'm choosing my God lens and view and outlook and perspective of optimism, of goodness, of prosperity, of all the amazing things that we are in supreme truth. The enlightened outlook and view that sees and knows all is beauty and all is pure love. I'm choosing these things from within. I'm not looking for things to make me feel a certain way. We are the amulet, we are the chalice, we are the power, we are the majestic grail sculpting our experience. So the more masterful we become at choosing our state at will, and this is something that I teach, and I've actually had my brain waves measured. I'll show this to you all sometime. It's really fascinating and beautiful. And it was such a humbling, affirmative experience for me to actually see the measurements, but they exceeded Buddhist monks. And this is like me in the midst of life, and happenings and things. And there was a lot of, it was hyper gamma epsilon states. And, one of the things they expressed was like, we haven't ever seen anyone go to some of these states. This is new, this is novel. And to actually be able to drop into this at will in the 6 seconds, to be able to just go right there. And so these are states that I teach people, because when you have enough catalytic experiences in your life and you learn that your state of being is what's affecting everything, you become masterful at directing yourself into those spaces at will. So that's the flip side of that. How I arrived there was because I had enough of the catalytic experiences, and I'm like, all right, I'm choosing now, and mastered my ability to choose well. And so our choosing our state of being, cultivating states of being, the frequency, the feeling, the sensation is the prayer, and we are the ones who are in direct dominion of our being in this way, and therefore our experience in this way. No one and nothing has the power to make us feel anything, to make us choose anything, to master our inner terrain. Only we can do this for ourselves. It actually doesn't even matter how loving and caring and kind somebody is to us. If we're not feeling it and cultivating and practicing and being that inside, we won't even be able to feel it and receive it from them because we're not being it. So it doesn't matter what's going on out here. And also, nobody has the power to make us feel anything less than our full majesty as pure love. We allow ourselves to be influenced, we allow ourselves to be affected and impacted, but nobody has that power except you. And so I would like highly advise and invite you to claim and own the fullness of your power in this space because it will change your world in the most miraculous, spectacular ways. And it puts you as prime maestro of your existence, the sole operant power of your reality through cultivating these glorious, exalted, divine states in your embodiment. I'm here if I can support you in any way. I do have spaces open for spiritual advisory and mentorship. You can look in the description box below. There are links to apply to work with me, and I'd be honored to support you on your journey. All right, my darlings, I love you so incredibly much. May you deepen, enrichen, and expand ever more into the majesty of your primordial, future, immaculate, holy God tones. We all know what this frequency is. It is who we are. It is the universal language that interconnects and interweaves all of us. The frequency of the divine heart, the eternal heart, the one flame of love that we all are, that we all are. So I invite you to become intimate with this aspect of yourself. Who am I in my most pure, regal, and royal divine heart signature as God, as love, as source, and to devote to being the resonance of this from your holy heart space in full sovereign source autonomy and dominion, being the maestro of your most miraculous experience from the royalty of your heart throne. This is where your full power resides. I love you so incredibly much, and we shall convene again soon. Take excellent care, my loves.